What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Soup. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. Joining me this week is Tina Amini.
What's up?
Sam Claiborne.
Hey, everybody.
And Mark Medina.
I'm back. Hi.
Wait, you're back.
We're back.
Steal Sam's thunder?
Yeah.
Whoa, hold on. How long have you been gone?
Oh, God.
Which of you went to a more exotic place?
How long have you been gone?
Okay. Since before E3.
Okay.
Yeah, wow.
Feels like Sam's been gone for a month.
He had
a day before you left, I left. So it's the whole time you've been gone, I've been gone.
Oh, okay.
Plus 1 day, so I win.
Well,
It is a competition.
Yeah, I've only been gone for a week.
We made it one.
But I missed one Game Scoop in this studio, and I've never been in here.
I was in here
First time.
not 3 hours ago for Unlocked for my first time.
If you're listening to the audio,
live
you
here
should
now.
go check out what our new studio looks like, because I can't believe how good it looks.
Looks
Yeah.
really nice. Looks really nice. I think
We
we're
like
happy
it.
with it. I think it's sounding better in this week, too, hopefully. There's a little bit of an echo last week. I think CJ Gibson sorted that out. And if he didn't, it's at Gibson Films on Twitter. We have a great show for this week. Even though it's a pretty slow news week, it's Comic-Con Eve. I'm heading down to Comic-Con tomorrow. Tina is as well. Mark, you going?
No.
No, Mark's not going.
I'm here.
The two of us will be going down there.
We're going to be the only people in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just me and
So
Sam.
leave us with stuff to do, because otherwise
Okay.
it's Mario 64.
We're just going to play Mario.
That's not a bad idea.
But of course, even when it's a slow news week, we always have our great emails from our listeners and viewers that we can answer. We'll get to those in just a second. But first, Sam has prepared a full report on what he did during his summer vacation in Japan.
Mm-hmm. Do you want it in order of what animals I saw?
Yes.
Okay, well, alphabetically, I saw deer and then monkeys.
Cool. But you also saw
Wait,
cats.
Did you
that's
see deer
it?
and Nara?
Yeah.
Did you feed them?
Listen.
Hold on.
You don't
I told
feed
you
the
not
deer.
to. Yeah.
The deer just run up and eat whatever you have.
I know.
Like I had like a bag of sandwiches, and the deer was just like in there.
Well, why'd you do that? You
And then I had like
food
a
out.
jacket, and the deer like made like I had to get patches on it afterwards.
Okay.
Wow. Putting your sandwiches in a bag is very Canadian of you.
They put everything in bags.
That's milk
I didn't
in
see
bags.
I didn't see any liquid in bags in Canada. But yeah, there's deer that are tame in a park, and like so many of them, it's like more deer than pigeons. It's really, really crazy.
Yeah.
And then in a monkey park,
They
it's the same
bow
thing.
at you so that you will feed them. But
Yeah,
if
Do
it's
they
like,
actually do that?
yeah.
Do they actually do that?
No, they do like a stabbing motion with their antlers.
No.
They come up to you and they
bow.
go, stab you, I'll stab you, I'll stab you.
They didn't ask. They took.
Hand over the bag of
Is that,
sandwiches.
that's what the bow is there, right?
The bow is a request for food, yeah.
But it's not. They don't get down on their knees. They
No,
just bow their horns at you.
Yeah, they bow their horns at you.
They try
don't
to stab you,
with your-
but they've
with-
ground down their horns to little nubs, so they can't actually stab you.
Be difficult.
You
And by
can't even
they, I
tell
mean, there
what
must be
he's
some
saying
sort
is
of
truthful
part-
or not anymore.
Everything I'm saying is true.
So
You've been there, right?
I know, but they didn't stab me with their antlers.
Oh no, I'm just saying they're threatening to.
Well, yes. they do bite at you, though.
Yeah, they'll get in your bag.
your bag of sandwiches. I've been to a monkey park in Kyoto. Is that the one you went to? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think
where you
we've all been
walk
the same
way.
one.
It's a long hike up the mountain.
Yeah, and it's steep and it was really hot in the summer. But and the whole way there's signs about the monkeys, right?
Yeah.
They're like, don't do this. Well, in other parks you go there and they're like, don't feed the monkeys, period. But this park, they're like, you're going to feed the monkeys, but you can't feed them anything else. And they give you peanuts or something
Yeah.
to feed
give
them.
you peanuts.
Also, normally the animals will be the ones in cages, but in this situation, you're in the cage.
Yeah, they put you in cages. And
Yes.
the monkeys
Yeah.
surround
feed
you.
the monkeys. You can
That's
only
exactly
feed
right.
them when you're in the human cage.
Yeah, and they'll
So it's
stick
like a
their
shark.
their grubby
Yeah.
little hands
Like a shark.
inside,
Yeah.
and you can hold out your hand
Yeah.
with peanuts, and they'll grab it. And I just remember the way their
It's so
leathery
weird.
little
Yes.
fingers
The little
felt.
finger
They also go like
it's
this
so
if they
weird.
want the food.
Yeah,
They make a
And then
little grabbing motion.
You'll give them a peanut, and they just shove it in their cheeks and ask for another one right away.
Yeah.
And they'll just keep shoving it in
Storing
their
it like
cheeks.
chipmunks.
Yeah.
Dude, same.
They're smart.
They don't bow at all.
No, they're not bowers.
No bowing. I saw they do like they play like humans, and like I saw like them running
play.
around, and there's a little pond there, and these two like adolescent males were, and you can tell they're males because they have big terrifying fangs. They're like hitting each other and jumping in the pond and stuff like that. And then, one of them was like chasing the other one around, and the other one like turns around and just does a full cannonball and splashes everybody.
It's pretty good.
They're pretty tricky too. They'll like they'll use some monkeys as distractions to steal your food. Otherwise, they're pretty sneaky.
They're cunning.
Yes.
Everybody wants your food. Every animal wants your food in Japan.
And you went to a super potato.
I did.
You probably went to the better one, actually.
Yeah, I went to the one in Nagoya, and it's like, Nagoya is not a real tourist destination. It's a big city, and it has a lot of retro games, which made Super Potato there really cool. I have a whole rant about this.
Okay, here we go.
There's this problem right now where otaku have to ruin everything.
Here we go.
One of the things they ruin is if you go to Japan, say you went to Super Potato, a bunch of people attack you online. And they're like, why don't you go to a real video game store? That's a real thing that's happening.
Can I
to
get
me.
so lame.
Can I get like 10 seconds of context on what a super potato
So Super Potato is
I've
just a
never
video.
heard of this.
It's a comprehensive collector-based video game store. So you go there, and they have every game with very small holes in collections in like different levels of condition, and you can see them all. And you can just buy them if you want them, right? But a lot of them are really expensive. So it's not a place you go to dig. It's a place to see like a comprehensive, amazingly curated collection of games that are priced accordingly because they want to keep that collection, relatively intact. So the point of Super Potato is not the same as a flea market or a used bookstore. And I'm so annoyed by this concept. Like I collect things so obsessively. I know what the hell I'm doing, and I do not need some little dorks to tell me not to go to Super Potato.
Those are little
Can you
dorks.
imagine if there was a store that had every single Star Wars toy that ever existed? In every box, mint condition, they had the pulled ones too, and you could just go there. Wouldn't you just go there just to see what that looked like?
Yes.
It would look amazing. That's what
idea-
Super Potato is. I don't care how much you guys go dig at flea markets.
I was gonna say, is the idea that it's like, oh, you're not being like a purist collector. We go to flea markets every Saturday morning.
Absolute
we go
nonsense.
to
I've
thrift
been doing this with
shops.
records my entire life and video games for decades. I've pulled Atari video music at a flea market I won't even tell you about in San Francisco because I don't want you to freaking go there because I'm competitive about it. I cannot believe how stupid this reaction is. Anyway, Super Potato is amazing. I took some pictures of it and I tweeted them out and got attacked. But check it out when you go to Tokyo too, because again, like you get to see every Famicom game. They just have them all.
That's so cool.
And I bought some games for Jared, and I saw some cool stuff there. And I bought two very special things. I bought like a really, really nice condition Doki Doki Panic, which is the game that became Mario 2
Mario
here.
2.
And Shigeru Miyamoto designed a disc system game. I can't wait to show you to you guys. There's all these little booklets and stuff with drawings in it. It's really, really cute. And then I also got a thing called the Hudson Shooter Watch, and that is it's from the era of Game & Watch. It's all it is a device that counts how many times you can hit the A button quickly.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's like, yeah.
It's related to a TV show.
It's like in a minute or something?
It's it's really, really competitive, and so I'll bring it
it's
to the
like
office.
just QTE the game essentially.
Yes, exactly. It's an account.
Wait, but you're pressing different buttons?
No,
What-
it's just the A button.
and it's a minute.
It's a Nintendo tiny yellow
It's the one
Nintendo
where you've
controller.
already grabbed someone and you just need to kill them now.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you screw up, you got to start the whole
Yeah,
fight
the
over
whole
again.
cycle.
That sounds easy until you're doing this for a minute.
What-
we'll
I'm
see.
really good at those.
What people
actually.
used to
We're going to
Bring it in.
bring
Yeah,
on
I
the
will.
show. Bring
We
on the
should.
show.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
What people used to relate it to was in Mario Party. There was always button mashing games. Did you ever play those? It's just like whoever could button mash the fastest would absolutely win it. But yeah, it's like this. There's this famous guy that popularized it, but it was like really expensive, obviously, because it's Super Potato, and that's what that place is.
Yeah. So I've been to the one in Tokyo, and I just imagine the one you went to is probably less picked over than the one in Tokyo.
Again, it was like comprehensive. Like Jared gave me. I was looking for obscure stuff, but I wasn't going to pay for it. Jared gave me his like obscure stuff list, and like they had every single thing on it. I was like, dude, you got to pick out a couple $100 worth of games here, or else I'll just, I could have spent $3,000 or something on it, like 6 games.
Wow.
Yeah, it was completely crazy, and so that was really cool. And that was like the most gamer thing I saw. But I saw a bunch of arcades that were Taito and Sega, and
Yeah, they operate their own.
Konami has a gym.
Yep.
That's really cool.
That's why
you
they're
just
not
come across
making
those logos.
That's why they don't make games anymore. They have that gym to run.
Yeah. And then the very coolest thing, though, I think, was the 2 Nintendo headquarters that I went to. And I don't know if you guys saw those pictures, but I
I
went
saw
to
the older one. Yeah, that was awesome.
And then the new one in Kyoto is like pretty near it, but it's like just like a corporate office park, but it's huge.
Yeah.
And people I don't think it comes across when you see this one silver cube with the Nintendo logo on it. There's a whole nother one of those, and they're like 10 stories or something. They're huge. And everything is being developed in those 2 buildings. And there's a campus with a bunch of other little buildings on it.
And how did you find that building? Did you just like?
You can Google both of them. And it used to be really hard because I remember reading an article on how to find the old office, but whatever it is, off factory. But now you can just Google it. And like you should go to that other one. It's really cool. It's by a craft brewery too called Tokyo Beer Lab. I think craft something. But it's like there's the river in Kyoto on the east side, and then there's like a little canal next to it. And it's like the most beautiful walk. And it's like all like overgrown and lovely, and there's like all these like little houses. There's no tourists. And then there's the little factory that made Nintendo Hanafuda cards, and they had a little plaque out front and everything. Really, really cool. I went twice.
To Nintendo?
Yeah.
Nice.
I took a bunch of pictures, and then The second time, the bar was nearby. So.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Let's go check it out again. You know, it was really silly is that, first of all, there's no graffiti anywhere in Japan, right?
Oh, that's cool.
Anywhere.
That's nice.
There's no stickers anywhere. Well, I think graffiti's cool. And like,
Well, it can be. Graffiti's cool. Tags.
Tags are not.
Yeah.
yeah. So, but only on that Nintendo building, there's like a sign next to it, like a yield sign. And there's like, people put their stupid retro label stickers on it. 8-bit whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Nice. And then you went to the Ninja Gaiden Castle in Osaka?
I don't know, because I went to like so many castles. They're all the same.
Weird flex.
You've seen one castle.
Once you say one castle,
But I
you
didn't
say-
go to the Osaka castle. I went to
Man, it like
Meiji.
looms over the city.
I know. I spent so much time at the arcades. I know. It was always like a train going past it and stuff like that. But I went to a really cool one. The Kyoto Castle Tower isn't there anymore. But gosh, which one do we go to the most? I guess Nagoya has like a really big Ninja Gaiden castle. So that's the picture I had.
Yeah.
And that was like, it looks exactly like any video game. It's so fun.
I really want to know your elevator story.
Okay.
He said he has an elevator story.
So I'm the elevator captain now.
How's that?
I will show
Good.
you.
Okay.
But so
Did you
I
fix
was
an
in
elevator?
No, I was in a very dense area of Japan where staying at a hotel, and I had noticed this before, like train stations. If I had like luggage, I'd go in an elevator, but I was never in elevators. But I did take 2 elevators to get to the hotel. It was like a big skyrise downtown Nagoya. So it was like elevator then elevator. It was like packed with people every time, and every time I went in there, there'd be a really polite person just operating the elevator. But here's the weird thing. At one point, that person left and somebody just moved right over there and started doing the same thing. And it wasn't like, somebody in uniform. So I was like, what's going on here? So I go and I look up elevator etiquette in Japan. There's things called elevator captains, and it's amazing. So here's the rules.
That's adorable.
If you get in the elevator and there's nobody in the elevator, you are the captain. All right? And so then you're responsible for the 2 buttons that are hold the door open and close the door. Those buttons that we never even use here.
Well, they actually work in Japan.
Yeah, they
It's
actually
really
work
nice.
there.
they're
We're in some
always
elevators
they're like
here.
Yeah,
always,
it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
They definitely don't work in the IGN office. I see people all the time, and I'm like,
Close the
It's
elevator
like
door.
when I'm
There's no
walking
one
up
coming.
to
Close the
building,
door.
Mark's always trying to close the door on me.
oh yeah.
I always think about like how in the zombie apocalypse or something, you'd just be like, well, goddamn it, I wish this button
Yeah.
worked.
Yep.
And you
Yep.
just come in and you're done.
So if you're the captain, you have to hold the door open for whoever's going to get on. Everybody loads in, right? And then you close the door and you kind of facilitate the button pressing. Now, if you don't speak Japanese, then you can say like, which floor are you? Or kind of point, somebody will kind of hit it. But then at every floor that stops, you open the door as fast as possible. And then as soon as the maximum number of people have gone out and the other people come in, you close it. Like if you wait another second, you're being real rude. Right?
Oh.
So that makes you a good captain, right? So then you have to facilitate the floors again, do that. Now here's the crazy thing:
Oh,
if
okay.
you are being the captain and it's your floor, you get to hold the door, and then you leave, and then the closest person to the panel shifts into the position and becomes the captain.
They're like, look at me,
Just
I'm
right
the
there.
captain now.
And it happens so smoothly. There was an unwritten rule in that if you're like a doofus from America, they're not going to let you be the captain.
Aw.
They'll just circumvent you.
But you
'cause-
said you
So
were
how'd
the captain.
you get in?
no, I was. So, but here's what happened: you completely you lose your status, and like I'll be there and I'll be like holding the door open and like trying to be like, what floor are you going? But then there's that other panel on the other side, and some like
and
little
they're
old
like,
lady will
no,
A
just be like,
usurper.
We got this. Yeah, it's
she'll
like,
have her
listen,
finger on the close button like before you even get there, because it's like you have to switch fast.
They're like, all
like
right, get to the back.
Yeah.
Like, we got this.
Yeah, and then there's also a whole like business hierarchy. Like you let your boss is never going to be the captain, right? Like you if you're in a group of people, the subservient person like slips in first, right? So I was at one point where I was like doing good captain work, like real good. Like nobody had taken, I didn't get usurped at all, and I was like really proud of myself. It was just me and like an older businessman that was left in it, and I was holding the door for him, and I was like, please, and he wouldn't leave. So I must have missed some kind of rule or something.
Weird.
And he was like, no, you got to go out. You gotta go out.
Sam's checking the handbook.
So I'm like holding the door, and I'm like, and I just ran out.
He couldn't leave at the elevator in the
So here at IGN,
Yeah.
you're like everybody's boss. So you're never the captain here.
I'm not people's boss in this very room.
That's true. Except for everyone in here. I just painted a really
Well, it
weird
doesn't even
picture.
matter
You're
because our
everyone's
buttons
boss
don't
except
work.
for all of ours.
Your captain name should be Captain Commando. Probably.
So yeah, I don't think you guys need to follow these rules in America, but if you guys want to start it,
Okay.
we can
totally
at least.
down.
Down to give it a shot.
we need to get the elevator door close buttons working in America.
Okay.
Well, we have
just
other
in this building.
unofficial rules that are sort of widely accepted, but never always. They're not always followed necessarily. Like if you're going up the escalator, you have to stick to the right.
just going to use that as an
pass on
example.
the left. Yeah,
They're so
people don't do that.
cool about that in Japan.
Maybe
Here
in
it's just like
Tokyo.
the Wild West.
And it's in crowded stations that was happening. But here's the thing: I never knew which side to go on. I swear, and like Hiroshima is different than another place. Which side do you stand on?
I think it can go back and forth.
Okay.
Based on what region you're in, but
Yeah,
at
that
least everyone's standing on one side.
Yeah, that was freaking me out a little bit.
Yeah.
I have one rule here at IGN.
Okay.
If I am in the first floor and you are not past the guardrail, I'm not holding the door.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not doing it.
I think that's fair.
It's way too far
Yeah,
away.
there's a
So
really long hallway. You have to
Yeah.
walk up to get to the elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're still where the guardrails, because then it becomes this awkward situation. I have to hold the elevator, and then the person feels like they have to like
Yeah, they
run,
feel
and
obligated to run.
it's
like holding
it's
the
just
door
awkward for
in
everybody.
general. Yeah.
and so you're just kind of like, I'm just gonna go. There's 2 elevators. I'll see
Yep.
you up there.
Yeah, that's fine. I think
Sorry, you're holding 15 pizzas.
So if you guys want to start the elevator captain thing here, though, the most important thing is to make sure everybody else that doesn't know about it, you just think they're rude all the time.
yeah, and give them
Who
really
You
dirty
secretly
looks.
know that they're rude.
Who do you think at IGN would be the best elevator captain?
Well, Sam just had proper training.
I mean,
So
the
probably
most
Sam.
qualified.
Yeah.
And you know,
Sam
but the
has
thing
the most
is-
experience.
The thing is, you need twitch reflexes.
Yeah.
So maybe
Wait,
James
bring
Duggan.
bring in the button mashing game.
Yeah, okay.
And then
Then
we'll
we'll
determine
turn-
it based off
determine
of
who the
that.
captain-
Wait, so
Yes.
you're
or
I
can we
think it's
get?
gonna
you
be-
win a chance to be the elevator captain?
Maybe we can
Yeah,
get.
you just live in the elevator.
I'm just
now.
gonna be like, oh no, I suck at this game.
Well,
Sorry,
remember,
guys.
anybody
It's
can
not
be
gonna
the
be
captain
humor.
if you get on first or are nearest to the thing when somebody gets off.
Yeah.
Right. Anybody has
It's
a chance to be
floating
the
title,
captain.
floating role.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Sam, it sounds like you had a good time on your summer vacation. We should probably talk about video games at some point on this show. Let's talk about GameStop and their latest plan to try and keep their head above water without completely going out of business. As you probably know, GameStop has been playing on hard mode for the past several years. Over the last fiscal year, they reported the biggest loss in their company's entire history, something like $673 million. All last year, they're trying to find someone to buy the company. Nobody wanted to buy the company. They gave up the search for that in January 2019, and now they're the fiscal report for their first quarter in 2019 shows that sales are still going down, still trending down. So it's all bad news for GameStop. Their plan was going to turn it around as they're going to open new stores dedicated to retro gaming. They're going to do their own Super Potato.
I'm glad we brought this up because only real gamers will shop at.
Yeah, what are people going to think?
Well, isn't the
about
selection
going to-
like at GameStop?
Yeah, it's
to begin with?
terrible.
Yeah.
The thing
Where are they
about,
going to
like,
source all their retro
Yeah,
stuff?
If they really nailed it and like, well, I always heard that like, GameStop does have like central warehousing, but they like stopped selling retro games and then they brought them back for a little bit and like they, all the stuff was happening.
Well, they accept trades for retro games, so that's like,
Like
where
anything,
they're getting.
like today, will they take a TurboGrafx 16 game?
Like, I
Yeah,
don't
but
know
you
if
only
it's I don't
get,
know if it's like
2 cents
that
for it.
old, but like you can take a batch of Super Nintendo games and take them to GameSpot or Stop and sell them. Why do you think your N64 collection just gets smaller and smaller?
I did sell a copy of like Turok 2, I remember, and it was like when I got the receipt back, it was like I got trade, and I remember it being like $1.60.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That was the last time I ever did. I was just like, this, come on, guys.
Yeah.
And I you can buy retro games on their website right now. I happen to know, just because of something I'm working on, that an N64 with no games, $80.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that means that they
that's-
do have central warehousing and documentation of like games. So like if you have that, then you could say, okay, we're going to stock a store really interestingly. And like if Super Potato is their model, like seriously, it's like a walk-in museum that you really try to keep like stock in that looks cool. And then people just go there and then maybe they buy cheaper games.
Isn't it kind of like Blockbuster being
cool.
like, we're only going to rent old school movies?
Only 80s movies.
Yeah, exactly. It does
there's
seem
a-
like a cool museum
which is-
kind of quality, but
Yeah.
I haven't been to a GameStop in a long time, maybe like a few years ago randomly, but it was a thing that, you grew up with as a kid, but it's irrelevant now with digital sales, especially in Amazon being what it is. But I also recall like their quality and their handling of games and systems wasn't always that great. So
like
I
the
can
rattles?
imagine-
You get a game that's rattling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or there's just scratches on it. Yeah, exactly, because the game is loose, or there's just
Well, there was that
scratches on
whole
it on
thing
scratch
where
hands
it's like
or-
you would buy a new game and they'd go and get the case off the shelf
my
and
God,
put the
yeah.
disc in
Yeah,
it.
they'd already taken
and they're
the
like,
disc out.
and they're like, no, it's new, it's never been played, but for display
why did you
purposes.
open
And you're like, Nah.
Yeah.
Why did you crack
If
the
it's
seal?
new, I break the seal.
Yeah.
There's a website or a YouTube channel, Spawn Wave Media, and he devotes a lot of his channel to buying, like, hey, I'm going to buy 6 or 7 different things, a GameCube game, a Super Nintendo game, an actual PlayStation 1 from GameStop, and he gets them all in a box, and then he'll open them and be like, okay, this is okay. This controller feels
Unboxing
okay.
repackaged GameStop stuff.
Yeah, like he'll get it and it'll be like, oh, they're refurbished. And it's like, okay. And then he'll put a PS1 game in the PS1 he ordered. And he'll be like, okay, it works or it doesn't work or this controller doesn't feel good. And so it's, he just kind of.
And people watch that?
It's pretty entertaining. Yeah, no.
That's actually a good point, though. Like, I mean, just games working, like having somebody test clean and then grade them or test clean and then price them according to their, aesthetic look. That's a big deal. That means somebody actually tested the game. You're not going to big creative games and buying garbage or consoles. Like NESs need the 72-pin connector replaced.
Yep.
Like that's kind of cool to have somebody doing that for you. But I can only see them doing this at like Chicago, San Francisco, LA, New York, Atlanta.
It's a lot of cities.
But like the big ones where they can really get but GameStop right now is everywhere. I just don't think that you're going to go to a retro store maybe in Lawrence, Kansas.
Why not? A bunch of kids, a bunch of college kids.
Well, that's kind of sad too because they'd be competing with GameNut, a great local chain of retro stores.
Well, that's the other thing. Now, if GameStop is going to start directly competing with these mom and pop, retro game stores, that's another.
Yeah, I live right down the street from a place called Phoenix Games, and they're really, really cool.
They have a big arcade with pinball machines, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like
You should open with that when you talk to me about this place.
It's just like walls of old retro games that seem fairly priced, and then in the back there's just pinball machines everywhere. It's really, really cool. But then I live right next door to a GameStop, so
whoa,
yeah, I know.
I go to GameStop to buy games for IGN because sometimes we need extra games or game guides.
Like on a dime.
you don't do that very often, though, do you?
It's happened a lot
I
recently.
bought Mario Maker 2 from GameStop.
You wouldn't admit you haven't been here.
A week ago, I went to their 9:00 release and there was like me and 5 other people there. I was like, all right.
I just bought something there for the office because it was like, we didn't have enough copies of it. What was it? I can't remember what it was, but when I was there, the line was so long and it was like 8:30 in the morning and it was already, people lining up to get a game, but they had plenty of the game. So I was like, oh, this will be fine. And I get in line and every single person talks to the cashier for like so long.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's like it's like they're having their own little game scoop, right? And you can tell the cashier doesn't want to talk to it. I feel
Well,
bad.
aren't they obligated to like push and pedal some of their programs?
That's what they're
so
doing.
have
They're
to
like,
have the
take the
conversation?
strategy guide, and
Yeah.
you're like, please no, or like try
They're
to
like,
upsell
please
you
no,
on
I
the
go to
card.
IGN.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I think people are just kind of shooting the shoot, as they say on games.
Shooting the shoot. Well, we'll see if opening up retro theme stores is the answer to GameStop's woes. There's no way it can be as cool as Super Potato. There's just no way.
Fake
Never say
gamer.
You know that one?
No, it went on.
That's Commando.
Oh wow.
Not the captain, just the Commando. It's before he got his captain. There's a.
Or it got
Commando
promoted.
That gets kind of boring, right?
It's repetitive, yeah. I mean, you walk.
It's a nice way of
but I just
saying
play it over and over again.
You walk north and shoot the same enemies over and over again. Sometimes they show up in a motorcycle.
All right, you don't have a negative take on this game. It sounds like that.
No, it's a perfect game. You might say it's off the charts.
Yeah.
Let's check in with the listeners.
Hey, listeners.
Listeners, remember you can always reach us at the email address gamescoop@ign.com, just like David from Chattanooga, Tennessee did.
Cool
David
name.
says,
David, I mean,
Mr. from Chattanooga, I'm a relatively new fan of the show, but I can't get enough. The promise of new episodes each week is the reason I wake in the morning, and the thought of Damon's crystal clear enunciation is what helps me sleep soundly at night.
Dude, same.
dude, it is crystal clear. I can't give this guy enough compliments about his copy reading.
Sometimes I think back to the very first God of War game from 2005, and I recall that my personal reaction to that game was, this is what I want from video games. More specifically, I realized that for me, if a game ran smoothly, was easy on the eyes, and felt responsive, it would be something that I enjoyed. Since then, this realization has helped me make better purchasing decisions and has kept me happily enjoying the medium year after year. I'm curious if you all have also found your it factor in gaming. Are there certain characteristics in a game that immediately elevate it to you, or am I weird for even asking?
Not at all weird.
What's your like your thing that you're looking for in a video game? Sam and I have talked about, we have a similar thing that we're looking for. We like to explore new worlds. Is that accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let me process this for a little bit.
Okay.
Somebody else should answer.
Well,
Mind Palace.
Have you guys played Outer Wilds yet? I can't stop
Not yet.
thinking about it.
I want it to come to PS4. Hopefully it'll come to
beat it?
PS4 someday.
No, I just
I hear
started
the ending's
last
crazy.
weekend.
Okay.
But so there are a couple things that I want out of a game. Like story is a huge one. You guys know I love a good story, good characters, good character arcs.
Do you like story delivered in a specific way? Like it's
No,
like
it could
dialogue
be like a
or
limbo style
Okay.
delivery as well, like a completely muted story. Just something like, I guess that the way that I would kind of summarize it is something that makes me feel something. So that can be through the story, or it can be like I have really fond memories of my Left 4 Dead days where I constantly felt really like in control and in power and kind of progressing through skill levels. Like I like that as well. Or feeling like the Division 2 is a good game this year for me because I just played it with a lot of friends. So that was a different kind of feeling that it evoked it. But Outer Wilds both does this really cool, mysterious storytelling unraveling at the same time of being like a massively exploration-focused game. So if you don't know the premise, you wake up and you go through loops and you visit planets within those loops, and after like 20, 30 minutes, whatever, or maybe you die or you run out of oxygen and die or whatever it is, it resets and the game basically recaps some like screenshots throughout your session, and then you wake up again and go through this loop again. And so you can use a sonar detector to look for audio signals on different planets and be like, I like the sound of this planet. Let me go see what's on there and where the music is specifically coming from. And sometimes it's like an NPC. Sometimes it's a black hole that kills you and puts you into a loop. And I went to one planet. It's an early planet, and I'm still early on, so I'm sure it'll be a no-brainer for anyone who's been playing. But it's this green planet, and you go onto it, and it's literally just water tornadoes, and the entire planet is chaos, and it's sucking you into a main tornado that all the other tornadoes are being sucked into. It's just super cool. I couldn't get over how fascinating that was and how different all the planets were. And then one time I collided into the sun and burned it. Well, actually, I was trying to match my velocity with another planet, and I didn't realize the sun was coming behind me. And all of a sudden, the light started coming into my peripheral vision, and it slammed into me. And I was like, I guess that was the sun, and I died.
Yeah,
What happens when you die?
It loops again.
It loops again. You wake up.
You wake up. You're this alien race, and you wake up on your alien planet, which I think is supposed to be Earth. Actually, I think it's supposed to be some kind of play on Earth.
Scoop.
Yeah, but it's
Well, and there's like a
you
guy
wake up
sitting by
there
the
again.
fire, and he's like, "Hey, you gonna go? Don't you
Yeah.
need the launch codes?" And you're like, "I already have the launch codes."
Yeah. You go up back
Wait.
to
So
the ship.
because you have to do everything over again, but you get really good at it because you're like past it.
So you do everything
Is that
over
what
again, but it doesn't reset the game necessarily. You're still making progress, and it's
like
almost like
at
a
the-
platformer in the sense of you figure out I shouldn't make a left turn here, or like this planet's going to
Yeah,
collide
that's
into this
really cool.
planet. Like there are asteroids, there are like events that are happening too. So there's like an asteroid that might collide into a planet, and you'll remember that. So you won't go to that planet at that time. You'll wait, go to another planet, go there.
But like
I
your
love it.
your
I
character
love it.
remembers stuff. Like what I mean with the launch codes is like at the very beginning of the game, you have to go get launch codes. Your character is like, oh no, I already have the launch codes, and you can go on your ship and it'll tell
So you don't have to open up your physical notebook
No,
and meet
no,
space
no.
and be like, I know this code already.
when you
No,
can go
especially
on your
'cause the launch
ship.
codes are like a series of dots and lines.
Yeah, and you can go on your ship and it'll tell you like this is what you're working on, and that stays constant.
Okay.
But you do remember different things. I used my autopilot once, and it autopiloted me right into the sun.
Be very careful with the autopilot. It does not detect any
Because the
collision
planets
courses.
spin, and
Yep.
you can't. Sometimes you can't catch up to them because
Yeah.
they're orbiting. And so the best way to do it is you have to match its velocity, and then all of a sudden the planet stops moving. It doesn't. You're just matching its velocity, or you can just autopilot. But the autopilot that'll crash you into stuff.
Yeah, you just have to use it sparingly.
Yeah, you got to use it
really
when it's
cool.
like I see the planet. I'm gonna.
But there's something different going on all the planets, and there's clearly like an overarching story as well. Not necessarily an end game as far as I understand it, but there is like an overarching story that you start to learn about like a different alien race and your own people and your involvement with them, etc. But exploration, if you like exploration, that's your thing.
Yeah. That game sounds really, really cool.
I'm pretty obsessed with
It's
it
cool.
right now. Yeah.
But it's only on PC and Xbox right now, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are your basic
But it's on
tenets?
Game Pass if you have it. I thought about it, and like I'm pretty eclectic. I think I don't really look for like this is what I'm looking for in a game. There are certain things where I'm like, okay, so like I really, really like post-apocalyptic settings. So the more I see on Outer Worlds, the more I'm like, God, this couldn't be more my game. I played a lot of Fallout 76 while I was
Yeah,
on break,
I know.
just because I wanted to explore that game. I know, I heard you guys made fun of me. Because it's just like, I love post-apocalyptic stuff. And so that'll kind of draw me in. But for the most part, like, you know, right now I'm juggling Just Cause 4. I'll pop into Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Still trying to get through that. That game is very long. But I recently started playing a game called League of Legends Teamfight Tactics because I really, really, really love tower defense games. And this game is weirdly scratching that itch. And so
Is it a tower defense game?
It's an auto chess game.
That's their auto chess.
Auto
Okay,
chess
gotcha.
is somewhat an evolution of tower defense, if you want to look at it that way. And so I would say no. There's nothing that I'm like, this is my thing. But I would say like seeing something like Spider-Man. Before, I didn't even have to watch a trailer for that game. I'm like, I get to just explore this huge open world as Spider-Man, or Assassin's Creed. I get to just run around this huge open world. I pretty much know I'm going to like it.
I guess it has to have a hook. Like every game has its hook. Because I was
Gotta
thinking,
have some sort of loop.
yeah, like if I was thinking if a game is really stylish, either in its art or its music or its writing, like if it's really stylish, that will keep me playing too. So it just has to have that one hook, no matter what it is. If it's like the exploration is super cool, or the combat is perfect, or just I like the weapons a lot, like whatever it might be, it just has to have that one good hook.
Just
Also-
like music or our TV show.
Yeah.
You know, like it works the same way.
I also really, really, really dig short games. Something that I honestly can finish in like a setting.
That's why
like,
you're trying to make Mario 64 shorter.
Yeah, exactly. Game's
Make,
way
make
too
it the
long.
perfect game.
Something like there are two games that spring to mind that I started playing and finished without any breaks. What Remains of Edith Finch and Inside. Like those are two games that I just started playing and stopped playing when they were done. And I'm like, they're here because like they are just short enough but good enough to just consume all at once.
Single playing games is like a really good topic to talk about. It's been a long time since I played a game in a single sitting. But man,
Yeah, that's a good metric.
we were talking about like exploration. Like for me, it's like there's a sense of discovery, and like I really like there to be secrets. And like the way I like to describe this is in the very first review of Super Mario Brothers that was unearthed by I think Frank Cifaldi, if not somebody else, adjacent to him. But it was like a school newspaper type thing in the Midwest. Like first of all, like there weren't game reviews in 1986 like we have them now. There just weren't. And so finding one from 86 or early 87 of Super Mario Brothers is really weird. And the thing that they mentioned that it's not like, oh, the running feels great, or like there's a sense of like jumping and flight, or like there are all these things that people associate with Super Mario Brothers now, right? It was about how there are secrets everywhere. And it was like really cool that like every time you hit a block, maybe an extra life or something could come out of it, or there's blocks in the middle of the air that you can hit. And like I that's what I loved about Super Mario Brothers when it came out, is that you could take it one step at a time and just kind of like figure it out, like what's out there. You don't really know, and there's warp zones and stuff like that. Like that's the sense of like wonder and awe I get from exploration games. But like I definitely have another thing now, which I'm really realizing about myself, which is like it has to have a like realistic Earth setting. Like I really don't like, or it can be in the past or something, but I like don't like Grand Theft Auto very much because it's so mundane for me. Like I live in a big city, I drive a car, I don't like crime, I don't like people shooting each other. Like there's nothing appealing about that game to me. But Red Dead I love. Like I really, really like how it's a world away, and so when I'm exploring it, it actually feels alien to me. Love futuristic games. Sometimes post-apocalyptic can be a little bit much because it just gets so drab. Like Rage 2, I was just like, it just feels like a lot of other games and looks like a lot of other games now. But I really like that what you were saying, Tina, about like if there's a hook in graphics. Like that's totally true. Like the first time I played Borderlands, like it just didn't matter. A lot of other things in that game didn't matter as much as just how it looked. It was just really
Yeah, it's just enjoyable.
And Breath of the Wild is that way for me too. Mentioned it once.
The other thing I'll add is that I like games that allow me to approach its problems on my own time and sort of give me however much time I want to sort of analyze the situation. So turn-based games are great at that. So I've been playing Slay the Spire every night for weeks now, because each turn I draw a hand of cards and I have all the time in the world to sort of analyze, is it better to attack this time, or do I need to build up my defense, or like how is this card going to play out? I can just sit there for minutes and minutes and minutes taking my one turn, and that's great. But even something like Metal Gear Solid 5, like scouting, I can usually take as much time as I want scouting an outpost, identifying all the enemies, planning the route that I'm going to take in.
Yeah.
Games like that really like.
That game has something that I really, that a lot of games that I really like have, where there's a sense of collection in it and a sense of like, inventory management, which I know it sounds boring, but like I totally get into it. Like when I really like a game, I really like the inventory, and I just spend so much time in it. But I think like there's a definitely an addictive like collector quality that I have that like really makes that work. And there's another thing I was thinking about the other day, which maybe this is like my background in game guides and cheats. But I really like feeling like I have an advantage in a game. Like if I did something that was really difficult and then it gave me a leg up, but I did it early and the game let me do that. Like, I think that's so cool. I love that's like, that feeds something in me where it's just like, well, I kind of broke this, I sequence broke or something, but it took a lot of work and then I have a little bit of an advantage for a little bit, you know, and RPGs were always like that when I was a kid.
I was going to say, when I had 12 hours a day to play a video game,
you could like grind and then get a good level.
Playing Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 9, like I would just like, the second I get to the open world, I'm like, cool, this is me for 3 hours. And I would just get super, super strong. And I'm like, all right, now let's progress. And I just kill everything.
But that's been taken out of games.
Level scaling has.
Yeah, the legendary. That's actually another thing. Item drops when you get like something crazy like early on, and
or if
really
you
helps
earn it through a boss battle or something.
Yes, even though you had to like cheese it or something, you know, it may have taken like 2 hours just to like whittle away this boss, but you figure out a way with enough HP potions to do it. That's so cool.
One of my favorite things about Final Fantasy X was finding everyone's master weapons, because you had like, they were specific quests and they kind of navigated like story aspects that were particular to those characters too, and they were just like these badass weapons. That
Impossible.
Were
because nobody plays Blitzball.
What?
And you have to get the world champion. You have to.
Do you not like Blitzball?
No.
Why not? Why
And Final Fantasy X is my favorite Final Fantasy of all time.
Well, that's
possibly
a
one of my
common
favorite
sentiment.
games of all time.
Yeah.
Blitzball. No.
Yeah, that's a really common sentiment.
Waka's weapon is the one I've like never.
Yeah.
Is
never
one
got.
of the characters you have to play Blitzball for?
Well, that's his background. Like, he comes from an island, and he used to be a competitor, and you bring him onto your group.
What does playing Blitzball mean?
It's basically like soccer in the water. It's actually more like Quidditch.
Yeah.
But what do you
Kind of,
play
'cause
in the
you're in the
game?
water.
Like, is there a team
It's
sport
like a
they just
mini
built
game.
into it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like a
in the
brief
game,
sports.
and like you can go around and recruit people to be on your team.
Yeah.
And
So
then,
it's like Gwent.
And then
then you go through, like, leagues
but
and
terrible. Because the game just like cheats
that's
sometimes.
interesting. It is
and so
hard.
you have to
Blitzball's
win
hard.
the big tournament to be able to get the item to unlock the world champion.
Did you ever consider getting good?
Here we
No,
go.
getting
I think
good.
that's what
It
Nina's saying
cheats.
right now, is that you need to get
To
good.
be fair, I was not good at Blitzball either.
If
But
there's
I'm still
anything you
saying
take
that.
from this entire if there's anything you take from this entire conversation, it's that you should play Slay the Spire, because that game is dope.
Why do we go back to
That
that?
game is dope.
I think you should avoid feeding monkeys when you're told not to.
That's the point of this whole podcast.
We're just see. This is
It's
the
okay to
podcast
feed
on
the
loop.
monkeys.
Now we're on Outer Wild.
Actually, we didn't
Did
talk
we
about
crash
that.
into the sun?
Podcast.
Yeah. One thing about monkeys, real quick. So you're allowed to feed the monkeys at that place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arashima.
It's encouraged.
No problem.
I guess, yeah.
You don't feed them outside food. At every other place in Japan, it's like, stay away from the monkeys. Don't look at them. Don't look at them in the eyes. Like, don't get near
Don't
them.
talk about
if
them.
you see them, don't talk about food around them.
Well,
If you
Don't
hear
even
them using
think
a
about
spoken
eating.
language, pretend you don't know it.
They can sense that you're thinking
Yeah,
about
do
them.
not show them flint and steel.
that's why they specifically make you feed them in the human cages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they understand the distinction between, okay, I don't ask for food and don't steal food when they're not in the cages.
Yeah, but I was hiking by myself in the jungle a little bit, and at one point I was like, if I see a monkey, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it.
But you could handle those cats.
Well, because I'm going to have to stare it in the eyes. Yeah, there are so many
That's a
jungle
sign of
cats.
aggression.
You know, cats in Japan have shorter tails, just everywhere.
I did
I
not
did not
notice
know
that.
They're like 6 inches long.
Did you take out a measuring tape?
Yeah.
and-
No, every cat. No, it's obvious. They all
Wait
have
a minute.
They have weird stub tails. Well, maybe they're just normal tails.
The
Maybe
first
our
thing he
cats have
did,
long tails.
Yeah,
the first thing he
exactly.
did when he got home, he's like measuring his own cat stuff. I knew it.
Well, we can't be Western centric, you know. Maybe
that's true.
we do have the
Yep,
longer cat tail.
I've recanted my short tail statement.
Okay, everybody be cool. I have to deliver this week's sponsor messaging. Well, I hope you're happy.
Was that an accident, Dan?
I hope you're happy because you just spoiled the victory music for Video Game 20 Questions.
Aw.
No,
The
I think
worst
it's this
one
Now
one,
it will
actually.
ring. Now it will ring hollow if you guys
Maybe we won't
actually
win,
win.
and it'll be fine.
What was that thing at the end?
Was that a bird chirping?
Bird got it.
Well, here's a hint. It's you're playing. Your character's in has an audience.
Oh,
That was supposed to be the audience
So
that
it's
you're
a
hearing.
fake
Oh, is it
game?
Smash TV?
No, it's Super Punch Out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some cool ripping
Yeah,
guitar sounds.
seriously.
This is John in Keysville, New York. Keysville, you know where that is?
No,
Never
not
heard
at
that.
all.
I've been an avid
made up.
consumer. I've been an avid consumer of GameScoop for the past few years. I check my podcast app a few times a day on Fridays until it shows as available. You all do a great job. Keep up the good work. A couple weeks ago, you were discussing Game of the Year candidates. You were talking about the few 9.5s that IGN had given out throughout the year. I just watched the Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers review and 100% agree with everything you wrote. I am just finishing up the main story and believe that the story has been the best from any Final Fantasy game in well over 10 years. You awarded a 9.5, which begs the question, would you consider Shadowbringers in the end-of-year Game of the Year discussion? I don't usually see an MMO in this position, but there is something special with this expansion. Can it go where few MMOs go and win Best in Show?
Is it eligible, Tina?
Well, I mean, it's obviously eligible just inherently, but especially because we've rated it highly. I actually polled my team to see what their current Game of the Year contenders are, and Matt Kim listed Shadowbringers on his list. So he removed, I don't know if this is throwing him under the bus, but he removed Sekiro for it.
Sorry, Sekiro.
Yeah.
Not
I asked him
good
for
enough.
Top 5,
Get
to be
lost.
fair. Yeah.
But so one thing that's confusing to me, though, is that isn't this an expansion? This isn't a new game?
Yeah, that's true. It is an expansion, but allegedly it also like completely revamps the online experience. I have to dig in more. I have to consult.
Yeah, I guess I'd want to know, is it significant enough to
Yeah.
to beat an entirely new game?
Well, it also depends on like what the rest of the year looks like. Like I was kind of trying to think of what my Game of the Year contenders are, and they're not really no-brainers like last year felt, which was not our Game of the Year, my Game of the Year.
What was your game of the year last year?
Red Dead 2.
Oh, okay.
We gave it to God of War, but that's fine. That was a good game too. I'm not mad about it.
That's fine.
We just made the wrong decision. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Mark, will you play Shadowbringers? You love Final Fantasy X.
I do like Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy 14 is something I've never been able to get into. My MMO days are.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You play Fallout 76
Yep.
all day, every day.
That's true. All day, every day. I play nothing else. Well, because
But that is an MMO.
no, it's not.
Sorry?
Explain.
Massive multiplayer online RPG. That's Fallout only houses
You got all
24.
three of those things.
It only houses 24 people on a map.
All right.
That's not massive.
It was in 1991.
An MMO is a minimal multiplayer online RPG.
We've been saying it wrong.
No, see that's
A maybe multiplayer online RPG.
that's the
Microscopic.
shared world adventures. That's what that is. Because like, is Destiny an MMO? I wouldn't say that's an MMO.
Well, they decided to like invent their own genre.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Shared
Shared
world
world.
shooters, shared world experience,
But, like,
adventures
it
kind of
also
thing.
Kind of wasn't.
I played World of Warcraft for 10 years, since 2006. Loved it. Played all the way up to, I don't even remember anymore.
The Panda one.
The Panda.
No, it was like one after that, the Apocalypse one, which is weird because I like post-apocalyptic, and that's the one that lost me. I've played Final Fantasy 14, but the MMO combat just doesn't do it for me anymore. And paying $15 a month to play a game.
Did you know that according to OpenCritic, it is currently sitting at the number one rated, like average rated review?
What game is?
Shadowbringers.
Wow.
Yeah. It's number one.
Like
Do you
of
wanna know
the year or
So far, yeah.
Okay. Maybe.
Yeah, you want to know the rest of the list?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Shadowbringers, Resident Evil 2,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nier, if you count the Game of the Year edition, Sekiro.
I don't.
Wait, near Automata?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sekiro, Slay the Spire, DMC
Yes.
5,
Slay the Spire.
Super Mario Maker 2, Outer Wilds, Apex Legends, Steins Gate, Cadence of Hyrule.
Steins Gate.
Interesting
Yeah,
year,
what
right?
Steins Gate game?
I mean, we still have the things that are on my radar for the rest of the year are Control, Ancestors, Borderlands 3, Gears 5, Death Stranding, Jedi Fallen Order. Like, those are pretty good contenders, too. I feel like some of the heavyweights haven't really come out yet.
Well, that's true. Okay, well, Mark, you did mention Inside earlier. We actually have the video game Inside.
Sure,
We have a question about Inside from,
Okay.
I believe it's pronounced Tuan in Washington State. He spells it out phonetically, Tuan. I was wondering if anyone ever found out what happened to the Inside Collector's Edition that featured a collaboration with Real Doll. I believe it was $375 and actually sold out. For that much money, I would think people would start to question when it was coming out. Thanks for all that you guys do. And I think we got an update on that last month. I think it's been delayed, but they gave us like a blurry screenshot of something that's supposed to hint at what it is.
I forget there was an update,
But they said it's still coming.
Like, still coming. Yeah,
2019.
We confirmed internally that we bought one too.
we pre-ordered.
We have
it.
one coming
We've-
here. So.
The second the news came out, we were like pre-order.
So we'll definitely have an unboxing of that. Sure. Whatever it is, we'll be sharing it with you. We'll be inflicting it upon you. Supposed to come sometime this year.
Mario World.
Yes. And speaking of Mario World, this is Diego, our friend from Guatemala. He says, since the release of Super Mario Maker 2, I've been playing nonstop. I realized that I love Super Mario World. The art style and the platforming is so good. I haven't played that game since I was little. Now I really want to return to that game, but I don't own any Nintendo system with a virtual console. Do you think they will release an SNES collection of games for the Nintendo Switch Online, or should I spend $150 on an SNES Classic? It's more expensive here in Guatemala. That's why it's $150. Love your show. You make me laugh so much. GameScoop is life.
Yeah.
GameScoop is life. We still have not heard anything about Super Nintendo games coming to Nintendo Switch Online, unfortunately.
Yeah, I imagine it's got to be like a no-brainer at some point in time.
Well, it's on the new Nintendo 3DS, but like it's I don't really get what's happening with Switch. Like why they're not releasing these
It's
consoles.
like you got to keep your tricks in your sleeve, you know, and every once in a while be like Switch Lite, SNES.
Yeah.
That said, the SNES Classic is awesome.
It is great. We were just talking about last week what a good collection of games that is.
Yeah, and the controller feels super good.
Yeah.
Easy to plug in.
It's a good little party favor too, like when people come over.
Yeah.
How do you play Super Mario World, Damon?
Wait a minute. With the random button, if the random button takes me there,
Yeah.
then I'll play.
That might be a good way to play it on the super cheap. I would never recommend emulation personally. Legal emulation.
Yeah. Legal emulation. I wonder if you could get like a 2DS for cheaper. You can get a 2DS for cheaper than $150, surely.
Yeah, you could get like
Yes.
you could get Super Mario Advance for it's some older system like DS Lite or something too.
Yeah, it's that too.
That's probably really available actually. Just getting a DS now and playing advanced games on it, like in other countries too. DS was so popular worldwide that might be a good way to go. Super Mario Advance is not the best way to play Mario World, but a Super
Those games are they're like always changing. That's on Game Boy Advance, right? But you can play it on the like first DS.
Yeah, you could like plug it in the bottom of that first DS and the light.
I remember those games like have voices and stuff, and it always weirds me out. It's like you pick a level and he's like, "Let's go," and you're like, "What
yeah.
are you doing?" That's
The
weird.
advanced games like in Super Mario Brothers 2, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
It's really strange.
All right. That brings us to video game 20 questions. And I picked a game this week, but then I had second thoughts because I think it's too hard. So I picked a second game this
Was
week.
it Lemmings 2?
It wasn't Lemmings 2.
Oh.
So I assume you guys want the one that I think is a little bit easier. Is that right?
Yeah, but if we get it too fast, you can do the hard one.
Okay. All right. Our suggestion comes from Doug Brady. Let the questioning begin.
Do people not know to write in where they're from?
Doug Brady didn't. A lot of people did. A lot of people do, but
Maybe
Doug
you
Brady
can just
did
pick
not.
people that write in with the...
Maybe I should make that the stipulation.
Because
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get it if we know where they live.
Yeah. Where do you think Dougs live from? Come from? Where does Doug hail from?
Where do all dogs come from? There's nowhere to know.
I'm watching King of Queens right now. I love that show. It's an old sitcom.
That's really random.
Yeah, Doug Heffernan. He lives in Queens.
Let's go with that.
Doug
So
from
maybe he
Queens.
lives in
Yeah.
Queens.
All right.
Cool.
Doug from Queens. Is this from before 1990?
No.
After let's go with January 1st, 2010. Is it after January 1st, 2010?
No.
Oh, I
Meaning it's
screwed us
20
over.
years.
We got
90.
20 years.
Wait, you said if
2010.
it, is it? You said
I
it.
said after 2010. He said before 1990.
Okay.
So we have 1990 to 2010.
Okay.
We're screwed. You have a third easier one.
Is it multi-platform?
Well, yeah. Yes, it is. Sorry, I shouldn't have hesitated. Yes.
Okay.
Did it come out on a optical based format?
No.
Weird. So DLC or cartridge?
We're not going in an order, are we? I thought we just shouted out.
Oh yeah.
In order. I'm just looking at you while I think.
Yeah. It's because we're not ready either, Mark.
Did it come out before 2000?
Yes. That's 5.
So it's not DLC. It's a cartridge on different systems.
Mortal Kombat. I don't know.
Is this a 16-bit game?
It is available on 16-bit platforms.
Oh, cool. So like a cross-generational 8-bit, 16-bit era.
Yeah.
Is it part of a series?
Yeah, we'll say it's part of a series. There's been more than one release, but like there wasn't ever this game 2, but there have been some variations on it.
Okay.
Cool.
So is there like a Japanese version then maybe that is different? Or what other
Or it's like,
ports don't?
did this come out on NES?
No.
Oh boy. All right. That's the library I know the best. So, did it come out on Super Nintendo?
Yes.
Okay. So that the thing he was just saying could apply to a game like, well, is this based on a license?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
What
10.
were you thinking?
Everything I was thinking of was based on a license. I was going to say there's like a Tasmanian Devil game, but there's one where he runs forward and one where it's
see.
a platform where he runs sideways.
Also like Aladdin, Lion King, they're different
Oh, yeah.
on
And there weren't
Sega.
sequels.
Yeah, that's
No.
a really good example.
But that was it is SNES.
It's SNES.
Is this a
and
license based on a
But
movie?
it's not licensed.
No.
Wow.
All right, well that goes.
Yeah.
No, because it could be a TV show or a kids serial.
Yeah.
I can't remember if we count that. Do you count if it's a Chester Cheetah game? Is it counted as a licensed game?
Oh, yeah, I would count that as a
All
license.
right, let's just end it now. Is this Chester Cheetah's Adventure in Cheetah?
All right. Well, it's probably the Home Improvement game, but
I have that
we'll keep
game.
we'll keep that one in the holster for now.
It's rare.
Is it good?
You like
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
doesn't have a lot to do with tools. You go against dinosaurs right at the beginning.
Yeah, the first level is a dinosaur level, but it's on set, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, on track. Genre or perspective?
Or do you want to find out what kind of license it's based on, whether it's food or TV?
We'll just keep going through those.
Yeah, it's just based on
Is it the
TV.
7
I thought
Up
there's like
game?
a blanket. Is this a license game?
We got that.
Yeah, we got that.
Exactly. So we don't.
But it's not based on a movie, so it's not
Right.
Aladdin or Lion King.
Do you shoot in this game?
What?
What?
don't ask it.
You have a gun?
No. Hold on.
Okay.
Can we modify that?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. What do you got?
Because I was going to say we can ask about weapons in general. Because if it's not shooting, but it's some kind of like melee type thing, then
Yeah,
it
it's good
narrows
to
it
know
down
that
between
it's
like combat versus not.
So, do you use weapons in this
Yeah.
game? Do you use weapons in this game?
No.
Okay.
What do you do in this game?
Okay. So I don't know.
Is this a
Puzzle, platforming,
Is this a license
Flight
that's
sim.
not based on something you watch?
racing.
No, you do watch this license.
Okay.
Okay. So it's not.
How often?
Have I personally?
So it's based on a TV show.
Oh, well.
So it's like one of the Simpsons
Yeah, I was gonna
games
say
or Ren and Stimpy.
Simpsons
Is this
or-
based on an animated TV show?
No.
Okay, damn it.
We are screwed.
Well, you said
If it's Home
you
Improvement,
said
like
animated.
It's
TV
got to be
show,
Home
yeah.
Improvement.
So you do watch it. You could have said TV show.
Yeah.
We could. How many questions? Oh, we haven't.
We have 6 left.
Yeah.
And we're not any closer than we were
Thought this would be the
14
easier
ago.
Is it based on Home Improvement?
Whoa.
that game's is too. It's amazing he brought it up.
It's too obscure.
It can't be the easy
too
game.
hard. Yeah.
It could also be Full House
I don't know.
Tournament
I
Fighter.
remember the Home Improvement game,
Okay.
like its existence.
Yeah.
Not much other than that.
I don't know if it's based on something you watch. Should we ask if it's a platformer, or does that even matter? Is that too obvious?
I feel like it's. I feel like if he says yes, it doesn't help us at all.
Well, if it's no weapons, then it's true. If it's no weapons, it's either platformer, like a flight sim, or racing game, or
I want to act,
what else could it
Yeah.
be? Puzzle.
but it's a property that we watch, but it's not an animated show. It's not
Sports.
a movie.
It could be sports.
Could
Oh
be
yeah.
sports. But
What was
Damon,
like a
Damon would
one-off?
never pick a sports.
Yeah, he
game.
would. Is this a sports game?
Yes.
Oh boy.
We got
I'm
this.
out. I'm out.
I think we can get this.
One thing I don't play.
Well, let's see. We got
Is it something you watch? Should have given that away.
We got
There were different
Madden
editions
95,
because-
Madden 96.
No, there are no sequels, so it can't be a
That's
sequel
true.
game.
Wait, is Madden?
I just had to identify it.
But he said
as
there's
a
never been a
fever.
2.
Wait, hold on. There's never been a Madden 2. If
I was
if you
talking about
have
sequel or
if you
sequel.
have Madden 2019 and then you get Madden 20, is Madden 20 the sequel?
Yes.
Isn't
Oh, I
it?
forgot
like-
the boss fight music too.
I like how much this is tickling Mark right now.
I just didn't think about the fact like, oh, it's not sequels. It's like our sports. What's different
they?
now?
So there's like,
That's so good. They could be. I could.
it's probably NBA Jam. I'm
I
trying
was
to think
gonna
of the
say
really
NBA
most
Jam,
popular
but
thing.
doesn't that count as a series? As part of the series?
Yeah, but
No.
there was never a 2.
Yeah, no, well, because there's NBA Jam, and then like arcade versions,
Yeah.
and then they
Yeah.
remade NBA Jam for like modern consoles.
But it did come out in an optical-based medium, but I don't think Damon would know that.
Did it have a more current, I don't know, rendition?
Well, that doesn't.
What? It does, doesn't it? Didn't
NBA
like
Jam?
Yeah, didn't something
thought it
come
did.
out like a year ago or something?
No, there's like a different street ball game that's out now.
Oh, I see.
Did this come out in arcades?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a basketball game?
Yes.
When you make, hold on.
So it's definitely arch rivals.
When you dunk from half court, does somebody yell "boom shakalaka"?
I think so.
Woo!
I've never actually played this game.
Cool, we got it. Is this NBA Jam?
Yes.
Nice.
Did it was like Sega CD or something? Is that the option?
Yeah, I think
Sorry.
it was. Yeah,
Sorry.
no, it's nothing. I mean, that would have thrown us off. So I'm happy you did.
Arcades in '93, then came to just everything at the time.
Those were my jams. NBA Jam and
That
something
NBA
like
Jam was your jam?
Name one
Yeah.
other jam.
no, like NFL Blitz. Is that
It's
kind
not
of
a jam.
but it's that style of like arcadey, like I said, NBA Jam. You can dunk from half court.
and I
NFL Blitz, you can Hail Mary 90 yards and he'll catch it every time. Like
I think there was a modern re-release of NBA Jam.
that's what I'm.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Now
it up
she's
right
trying to
now,
look
guys.
it
And I
up.
know that
We'll
there's-
I don't know.
I know there's another like knockoff that's really popular too that's doing the same thing.
NBA Jam on Fire Edition 2011, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360.
Oh, that's so contemporary and recent.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's only
I was
2011.
years ago.
I was thinking like 2017 or something. I guess I say
Yeah.
right.
I think Tina saved a
did
lot of
say like a
face
year
by
ago.
finding out a 2011 version of NBA Jam.
Totally what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys got that. Do you want to know what the other one was?
Oh, well, hold on. Just give us the console. And we'll get it from there.
It didn't start on console.
Well, is it an arcade game?
Yes.
Okay, we can get this. Is it from before 1983?
Before 1993?
83.
No.
Is it from before 1990?
Yes.
Did Atari make it?
No.
Did Williams make it?
No.
Did Midway make it?
No.
Oh boy. Is it made in Japan?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Optical based media?
Well, no.
Okay.
No.
Does it have a modern re-release?
No.
Did Sega make it?
No.
Oh. Wow. And what, did Nintendo make it?
No.
Okay. I don't know. Is this going to get boring before it gets better? Are you still looking up NBA Jams over there?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the thing that came out with it that came out about a year ago.
There was a street game.
Yeah, I
last
think
year.
that-
NBA Playgrounds, that was called?
Yeah. something
Oh,
like that.
yeah, I think that's what it was.
I think-
Yeah, they announced something. Okay, thanks. It was
Did
gonna
this
kill me all day.
Did this use a joystick?
Yes.
Oh boy. Was it 2-player at once?
No, 2-player alternating. Here,
Yeah,
how about this?
I don't think-
It's a sequel.
I don't think we would have got this one. Is it a brawler?
No.
Okay.
It is Galaga 88.
Oh yeah, that's a good game.
Yeah.
That's a really good, cool game.
I like that game a lot.
Wait, didn't I? Oh, I didn't do Namco.
Yeah, Namco.
Namco. I bet Midway published that. No, maybe not.
I think it was just Namco.
You know what arcade game I played?
How would we
like,
know?
Like 2 weeks ago. Wow. Okay.
25
Well,
minutes.
if you follow me on Twitter, you
was it
have
a
a
Midway
very
game?
good.
Was
You
it
have
an
a very
arcade
good.
game?
I don't know.
Oh, well,
Was it Home
if you
Improvement?
posted about it on Twitter, you misspelled the name of the game and the name of the
God.
arcade.
Okay, you know what? Here's the deal. Jared Petty ended up replying with a much better response than if I had even spelled it correctly.
That's true,
Said,
he did,
I
yeah.
said, what was?
You said 5 fives.
I said five fives
Five
instead
Guys.
of five guys, and then he said nice fives, Guinness last. It was really, really good.
What's the
And-
game?
Oh yeah, Pac-Man Battle Royale.
That's a really fun
It's
game.
really
It was
good.
fun.
That one's
Yeah.
really good.
What's Five Guys?
It's a burger
It's a
joint.
burger.
You wouldn't understand.
I don't understand.
How about this, listeners? Mark thinks Five Guys is disgusting.
I just
What do you
said
think about
Mark
that?
also thinks Shake Shack is delicious.
what I said
He's right about that.
with my legs propped up at my desk was that it blows.
Don't
And I got-
inaccurately.
and I-
quote
right,
You know,
right.
me.
I
you could
meant-
save face right now by saying, I meant 5 thighs.
True.
I've eaten Shake Shack at an airport and it was better than
Yeah.
Five
Shake Shack
It's
is
good.
better.
Yeah.
But Five Guys is fine.
I had
Fine,
Mexican
guys.
food in
I
Japan.
think, I think
Really? How
It's really funny
It was
because
great.
What's the best thing you ate in Japan?
Pizza from a place called Monk, which is really good.
Pizza.
Tina's been to.
Wow.
That was really good. And then I had some weird fish.
Weird fish. Yeah.
You know,
was
you
good.
get like sashimi, and you're like, I'm not really
have
sure
that.
what everything is
Yeah.
here.
They have
like I wouldn't eat the raw shrimp like ever anywhere. That's the only thing that I'm a little bit worried about. But normally I wouldn't eat like raw scallop and some other things, but I ate it there and it was great.
ugh, raw octopus. Can't do it.
Yeah, it's way too chewy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're running super long.
Okay.
That is all the scoops we have for you this week. Tina and I are going to head down to Comic-Con, tune into all of our coverage. Fun
You guys
coverage
are going to
coming
meet
up
so
this
many
weekend.
celebrities.
I know.
Yeah. Yes.
That's her job.
Yeah,
and
you're- oh, yeah.
yours.
I'm
gonna do the
I'm
meet and
for
greet?
like a third of the time.
Wow, okay. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And you're doing interviews, right?
I'm doing a bunch of interviews, yeah.
I'm doing some of those too.
And then we'll be back next week for your regularly scheduled scoop. So thank you, Tina. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Mark. My name is Damon. This is IGN Game Scoop, and we're out.